The Studio is a show about what happens when the messy, fragile process of making art collides head-on with the corporate machinery that funds it. It's shot in these long, unbroken takes that feel both playful and claustrophobic, like you're trapped in the same pressure cooker as the people running this old Hollywood studio. What makes it interesting isn't just the comedy or the satire, but the way it keeps asking whether the people in charge actually care about the film, or if they're just keeping the lights on. And maybe that's the question it leaves us with. In a world where art and business are inseparable, who really gets to decide what's worth making? The studio follows Matt Remnick, played by Seth Rogen, a cinephile freshly promoted to head a legacy Hollywood studio, and is quickly saddled with reboot mandates like a Kool-Aid IP project. He's torn between making films he truly loves and satisfying shareholders who treat movies like disembodied brands. The show began as a satire born from a single loaded moment, a note session where an executive said, "I got into this because I love movies, but now I have this fear that my job is to ruin them." That line became the backbone of the studio, and as Matt deadpans it in episode 1, it lands with haunting resonance. The concept percolated during Rogen's time on The Fabelmans in 2022. He and Evan Goldberg rewatched The Larry Sanders Show, then sketched out a project based in LA, rooted in the manic absurd energy of real-life studio and personal Hollywood pain points. The show was straight to series ordered by Apple in late 2022 and formally titled The Studio in March 2024. Rogen and Goldberg co-wrote and co-directed all 10 episodes of Season 1, personalizing both the voice and the vision. As Goldberg observed, there was sympathy for studio execs, they could have been us. The set itself is a visual manifesto, an 8,000 square foot, 2-story Continental Studios office evoking Frank Lloyd Wright's Mayan revival style. Built on the Warner Bros. Lot and designed by Julie Berghoff, complete with towering plaster blocks, a meditation room nobody uses, and HR-positive Hank Zone posters to satirize workplace absurdity. They also shot in exquisite real homes, the Lautner icons like Silvertop and the Harvey House, to match the creative ambition with architectural gravitas. Visually, the series lives in long, chaotic one-takes, the Oneers. Episode 2, titled The Oneer, plays like a 25-minute continuous shot weaving through gaffes, grip tucks, emotional freakouts, and even a sunset deadline that nearly derailed the scene. Director of photography Adam Barra and camera operator Mark Golnick choreographed each scene like theater, risking precision for electricity and trusting that creative trust made the difference. That technique also built an artistic protected zone where post notes from executives were simply impossible. Casting was all about chemistry and insider jokes. The main ensemble, Rogen, Catherine O'Hara, Ike Barinholtz, Chase Wonders, and Catherine Hahn, were assembled with care to feel like a real dysfunctional executive family. Cameos landed shockingly often by design. Each guest role was written with stars like Martin Scorsese, Zoe Kravitz, Bryan Cranston, and Ted Sarandos in mind, and many said yes. In one standout beat, Apple asked for Tim Cook. Rogen countered with Netflix's Sarandos instead, who ended up commenting on artists and contracts, another self-aware nod. The creative team even prepped a backup camera crew for Scorsese's scene just in case, but he embraced the one-take style, calling it like French New Wave. Even in one-shot scenes, there are discreet editing tricks, such as in episode 2, where bathroom transitions are cleverly hidden in whip pans, reminding us that illusion lives in precision. The studio has already been met with wide praise from both critics and audiences, and I get why. Personally, I thought it was good, sometimes very good. It wears its influences so openly that you can almost spot the reference while watching, but it usually pulls them together in a way that feels sharp rather than derivative. There are 1 or 2 episodes that lag a little, either not particularly entertaining or slow to get going, but the highs are consistent enough to carry the season. The music and the one-take shooting style don't always work. In fact, there are moments where they actively distract more than they add, but more often than not, they succeed in keeping the energy up and giving the show its own rhythm. Overall, it's a series that doesn't always hit every note, but when it does, it feels like one of the stronger comedies of the moment. For the rest of the video, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back. Season 1 of the studio starts with Matt Remnick inheriting the chaos of Continental Studios, suddenly thrust into a position where his love for film collides with corporate imperatives. From the opening episode, his struggles aren't just about approving projects, they're about reconciling the studio's need for safe, IP-driven hits with his desire to make meaningful, auteur-driven films. The pilot's long tracking shots aren't just stylish, they immerse you in Matt's frazzled perspective, highlighting how every conversation and cameo interaction, from Martin Scorsese pitching a Jonestown Massacre film to Peter Berg's dismissive direction, becoming a microcosm of Hollywood's absurd priorities. Early episodes like The Oneer cement this tension, using one unbroken shot to physically map the chaos Matt navigates, while simultaneously satirizing the industry's obsession with control and spectacle. As the season unfolds, the narrative digs into interpersonal dynamics as much as studio politics. Episodes like The Missing Reel and The War juxtapose noir-style mysteries with office power plays, letting Matt's reliance on colleagues like Sal and Quinn illuminate both loyalty and dysfunction within the studio ecosystem. The show excels at turning minor setbacks, like a misplaced film reel or a casting debate, into tension-filled sequences, often heightened by percussive scoring and immersive camera work. These moments are where the satire deepens. The absurdity of chasing recognition, mediating egos, or navigating awards season isn't just for laughs. It's a pointed commentary on Hollywood vanity, the performative nature of corporate compromise, and the delicate art of keeping a studio afloat. The finale, The Presentation, brings the season's themes into sharp focus, combining narrative closure with technical bravado. Matt, Sal, Quinn, Maya, and Patty converge to deliver a high-stakes CinemaCon presentation that will determine Continental survival. The long-take cinematography threads through chaos, celebrity cameos, and last-minute crisis, forcing the characters and the audience to feel the stakes in real time. It's a triumph for both Matt's leadership and the creators' ability to channel their frustrations with Hollywood into the storytelling. Yet even as the studio is saved, the season ends with a bittersweet acknowledgement that the tension between artistic integrity and commercial reality is ongoing. This blend of humor, technical experimentation, and sharp industry commentary gives the studio a distinct voice, one that satirizes Hollywood while making you feel the very human anxieties behind the glossy veneer. One thing I found really fascinating about the studio, and that I haven't seen emphasized enough, is just how much its sound design shapes the story itself. Antonio Sanchez's percussive score doesn't just sit under the action, it reacts to it, improvising like another character as Matt navigates Continental's chaos. The drums spike when panic rises, echo the unbroken camera movements, and even when a scene is visually calm, the rhythm keeps you on edge, mirroring the anxiety of executive life in Hollywood. George Haddad's chaotic sound editing takes it further, layering overlapping dialogue, set noise, and clattering office sounds to create this immersive, almost claustrophobic world where you feel the studio's dysfunction in every auditory corner. I dug into how the team recorded everything on the Warner Bros. Lot and used Dolby Atmos mixes to make the sound follow the long takes. And honestly, it's brilliant. Like the audio is charting the psychological entropy of the industry. It reminded me of Robert Altman's Nashville, but with a sharper, more comedic bite. Hear chaos as commentary, and hearing it as much as seeing it makes the satire hit harder than it would with visuals alone. Honestly, I thought the studio was solid. The highs hit consistently, even if a couple of episodes take a minute to get going, and the music or camera choices don't always land. The influences are obvious, but that's part of the fun, and the way it balances satire with the chaos of Hollywood keeps it engaging. It's messy in all the right ways, and by the finale you can see why it's been praised so widely. Funny, sharp, and surprisingly grounded in its own frantic world. With all that being said, I'm curious what you guys have to say. What did you think about the studio? Would you like to see a season 2, or just another work in the same vein? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for making it until the end of the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Here at Inner Spiral, we cover the games, shows, and movies we all love, so be sure to join us, and I'll see you next time in the Spiral.